passion of its players and fans, soccer is often referred to as the beautiful game, and it's even better when you win. UVM Soccer won over its fans by winning the 2024 NCAA National Championship. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. December 16th, 2024 will go into the Vermont history books as one of, if not the greatest day in the state's sports history, thanks to UVM Soccer. An early Christmas present to be sure for Vermont fans, and the gift that keeps on giving for our guest today, an underdog no more, just a dog, as he likes to say, UVM Soccer head coach Rob Dow. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you, and you brought a trophy with you, some hardware.
Yeah, the big one.
And it's been a few months since you guys have won that big game, so how has your life changed so far?
A lot of more time in the community to stop and talk to people how they enjoy the game and how they enjoy the championship, and mostly how we represented the state of Vermont and its true values of hard work and community-based team that thrive together to do something that's really, really important that meant a lot to the whole state.
Absolutely, it's incredible too, and kind of like you said, it wasn't just UVM that came out after that big win. You made all of Vermont proud with that.
Yeah, and the parade downtown really exemplified that, and it was really, really special to get down there and celebrate that with the state.
Sure, and it must be an incredible moment for you, but do you go back and watch the winning game, or do you try and kind of move forward with the process?
Probably about every other night I try to watch the national championship game-winning goal. It was a really, really special goal, and I think a lot of people share over text messages. They're doing the same thing.
Absolutely. And we've got a clip of the game-winning goal, so you get to watch it again now. You can check yours off for the next 2 days. And this was done, this goal was by Kissel, and why don't you kind of walk through your emotions while this was happening?
Yeah, so we were looking for 1v1 matchups up top, and first half we weren't getting a lot of those, but in the second half, we have a ball that's won by Zach Barrett, and we instantly see that Maxi Kissel is in that situation. Maxi's so fast, and once he took this touch across his body and ended up being 1v1 with the keeper, we're all yelling, shoot, 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 and he decides to dribble the goalkeeper, and it's like, no, don't do that, and he goes to his non-dominant foot, and it's like, after that I blacked out.
Well, all's well that ends well, I guess. So is this a play that you guys had been practicing?
Yeah, so look, there wasn't a lot of time to practice between the semifinal and the final. A lot of that stuff is done over whiteboard, and our coaching staff, Brad Cole and Roy Toomey, we talked about some of the advantage we see in the game. And in the first half, although we wanted to get our 1v1 matchups up top against Marshall's center backs, in the first half, Marshall adjusted and added an extra player in defense in transition. So we didn't get a lot of those looks, but in the second half, it was mostly 1v1 up top or 2v2, and that's just the example. That was the game plan. We wanted to get the ball quickly up to our forwards because we have so much pace and athleticism and scoring ability. So it was great to see a little bit of the game plan came through in the big moment. Sure,
it must have been a huge relief to see that things kind of adjust in your favor.
Yeah, 100%. And Marshall's a phenomenal team. They created great chances. We remained very, very good defensively, which is the identity of our team. But we know we can score, and we knew we could score in big moments. The stat was scored 17 goals in the 82nd minute or later throughout the game, and that type of mental toughness and resiliency in our team, continued to the last minute.
Sure, yeah, and it doesn't get much bigger than that minute too. And like you said, a lot of the time you guys are scoring kind of later in the game, and this was an overtime goal. So what was your message after official time ended? What was your looking forward to overtime?
Yeah, look, I think the biggest test was going into penalty kicks against Denver, which is the most highest pressured situation in the game of soccer. You're the one goal after one goal, 5 shooters, and it takes a ton of courage to step up and make a shot, but also on our goalkeeper to give us a chance to win. And when we accomplished that part, we felt like, look, if it was regular time, extra time, or even PKs in the final, we were prepared.
Sure, and what game, you said that was a game with Denver, where was that?
The semifinal game.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So when it came into this one, were you just like, we've done it before?
Correct.
All right, great. And so when you're rewatching the goal, do you still get kind of excited, or is it worn off with time?
Yeah, look, my father-in-law's up helping us a little bit with their infant, and we keep just talking about Vermont won a national championship, Vermont won a national championship. And every time we say that, it's like, there's a little bit of surprise, excitement, certainly passionate for what it means across the country to put University of Vermont on a national stage and show that, we're the best in the country. But all at the same time, like, this was a process that's been going on for 5 years. And us being in the tournament 4 years in a row and going to the Elite Eight and the round of 16, this was building. And we were ready for this moment. I think we just had the right pieces, the right depth, and the right team first players for us to come through and win the ultimate prize.
Absolutely, and you've got one trophy already, but every trophy needs a friend, so are you going for round 2?
Absolutely, we are defending this cup.
All right, and it's important to remind our viewers that UVM entered this tournament unseeded, so does UVM kind of have a target on its back now when it goes to next year?
This will be the hardest year of our program. It starts from celebrating our amazing accomplishments that we did in 2024, but also building this 2025 team to be even more tough, more hardworking, sticking to our values of being resilient and the best team, maybe not the best individuals, but the best team in the country consistently. That'll be tested, from our spring games. We've had 2 so far and played against 2 teams from Montreal, and they know about the National Championship, and they've given us their best games. We play this weekend against, and every other weekend until the middle of April, against other colleges, and we're expecting their best matches. So that'll follow suit all the way into the fall. So we need to continue to build this young group of our goalkeepers, a good nucleus, Nicholas Herseg, and young guys like Ryan Zelfro, and experience, coming back like Connor Thompson and David Ismail. These people, they're ready to lead the team. We'll have to add new talent to the group, and we got some work to do that.
Absolutely. And you said before we were taping that you didn't have a ton of time off between the win and then when you guys started up again. So what's your off season look like?
Yeah, so as soon as mid-January hits, we're practicing 5-6 days a week, developing this new 2025 team. Although our values stay the same, our identity will be just as clear of Vermont soccer, but every year, we have this new kind of chemistry that needs to form with different players working together. And that this January to March is a really good opportunity for us to, go back into the trenches, work on showing up and giving the best version of themselves every day in practice. And as that follows through, we get to test this kind of group over these unofficial games. We'll have 5 or 6 of these. And then the players will go off into the USL 2 seasons like Vermont Green or Seacoast United, and we'll get them back. One unique thing is that kind of new news is we're going to take the team to Germany.
Wow. In
June to help us continue to build chemistry and test ourselves against top teams in the country of Germany.
Absolutely. Do you think that's going to be kind of a different kind of competition, or are you just excited to try it all?
Yeah, it'll be a really high level of competition for sure. We really want to test ourselves, and but it's a great way to spread Vermont soccer across into Europe. We have several players from Germany and Europe, but it's also what's most important is like we get to go there as a team, and just have a really exciting fun trip.
Sure. And you were saying before the taping that you've had a little bit of turnover, just some people on the winning team are graduating. So what's your outlook for that?
Yeah, those players, 4 of those players, Zach Barrett, Max Murray, Yaniv Bazzini, and Sydney Wathuta are all playing at the next level at various leagues. Really exciting. Max Murray signed a first-team contract in New York City FC. Zach Barrett's with Huntsville City, which is in an MLS Next Pro League. Yaniv Bazzini's with Tormenta FC, and they're in the USL 1, and Sydney Wathuta's playing MLS Next Pro with Colorado. And
a great feather in your cap as well as the win.
It is, but they deserve it. They're top players, top leaders, and a lot of them, most of them have gotten really good minutes in their first few games here of their season. So we're just excited to follow them and watch their games.
Great. Now let's go back to the win a little bit. I heard a story that your older son may have predicted this. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So on Father's Day, my 8-year-old Hanson Dow, he drew this picture for me at school. It was of the National Championship trophy. I don't have it with me here, but it's posted right above my computer at my desk, and it just says, "Happy Father's Day, you're a champion." And I'm like, wow. I got home after the national championship and took a week off and got back into the office, and it was like tucked a little bit behind my bulletin board, and I pulled it out, and I just was like in awe, like really emotional that I don't know, he has that type of vision, but and belief that our team could do that.
Absolutely, that's incredible. Now let's switch gears really quickly. We're getting towards the end of our program, but I want to ask about name, image, likeness. What does that mean for UVM?
Yeah, look, it's a space we have to exist in, and our administration, Jeff Schulman and beyond, are working hard to make sure that we can win another national championship next year. Now, we're not in the basketball realms of millions of dollars for NIL deals, but we need to utilize some pool of financial resources in order to attract top talent to the University of Vermont. And the way I like to put it is like this NIL world is like tomorrow's scholarship, which is just like an added piece to our program to make sure that we can remain competitive at the national stage.
Great. And I want to wrap up talking about something we touched on a little bit, the incredible parade in downtown Burlington. So what was it like to be in the middle of that? Yeah,
it was overwhelming, humbling to lead the group into such a passionate and energized community. And I'm looking at the video here right now, and it just brings me back to like, it's a pinch me moment where and all of our players down to these trucks looking back, and they're just smiles on their faces the entire time, and getting up on the stage and hearing from some of the most important leaders in the state and what it meant to them and their connection and message back to the community. It felt really, really close and intimate, and most people knew about how this all was accomplished, and I think that's what's unique. I've gone back and watched other national champions and how they've celebrated, and no one can beat the state of Vermont and the city of Burlington and what was done down there on Church Street.
Absolutely, that's incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And that takes care of our program for today. I want to thank the champion crew behind the scenes here at WCAX. I'm Jolie Whitney. This is Across the Fence. Have a good one.